to Youth Hub. How are you doing today? Welcome to this exciting, and it's a pleasure to have you come again on Youth Hub. I am your host, Hosanna Okrafo. Today on Youth Hub, we'll be exploring the incredible opportunities available to the youth globally. And to help us, come on this topic and share and enlighten us is Mr. Marwan Umar, I hope I pronounced that well, the special advisor on international cooperation and partner development to the Minister for Youth. He will share his valuable insights on international collaborations, partnerships, and initiatives designed to empower and elevate youth globally. Stay with us as we dive into this enlightening conversation and unlock new possibilities together. I mean, this is 2025, so let's explore incredible global opportunities available to young people as we look forward to 2025. Please stay with us after this short break.
Are you ready to join the conversation shaping the future? This is Youth Hub, your go-to TV show where youth ideas and impact collide. Want to tackle the tough questions? We delve deep into the topics that matters: youth empowerment, gender equality, leadership, and mental health, real stories, real struggles, real situations. And it's not all talk. We make it fun with live challenges, creative contests, and interactive segments. You're not just watching the show, you are part of it. Catch Youth Hub every Thursday at 3 p.m. on Global Television. Be heard, be seen. Youth Hub, fueling dreams, sparkling change, and amplifying your voice.
Welcome back from that break. Joining me is Mr. Marwan SA to the Minister for Youth. Welcome, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good.
And of course, you look good, and I like your brown regalia. It's really giving a Natna. You're Northerner, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Which state are you from?
I'm from Kebbi State.
Okay, so all my Kebbi people tapping right there. Okay, so the year has just begun. How are you feeling about the year? How are you feeling about working with the ministry? How do you feel about youth? I know you are a youth practitioner. You're involved in youth development. So how is the year already unfolding for the youth in 2025?
Yeah, I think productive basically because of the start. I mean, youth ecosystem is good, most especially when you have a committed minister to work with in the area of youth development. And Comrade Ayodele Olawande has been up and doing, since the beginning of the year. We have been having several engagements to ensure that, the youth ecosystem is better. And one of the key priorities for us this year as a government is something that we call SEP, that is Support, Empower, and Protect Young People. So this is one of the initiatives by the
SEP.
Honorable Minister of Youth Development.
What did you say it is?
I said support, empower,
okay.
and protect. That is SEP.
Oh, okay. So that's one of the things that are on board to be unlocked, like a key this year.
Yeah.
So like I mentioned, this topic is basically going to be for the youth. It's going to be about unlocking. It's going to be about tapping in, knowing what to do, knowing what the government is doing for the youth. So now, Mr. Marwan, I know that last year the minister was sworn in somehow late with some things that happened. And so far, are there any highlights of collaboration between the ministry and international bodies of 2024 on how youth participated in these enrollments?
Yes, remember that, the minister was sworn in around, October 2023.
Exactly,
and
yes.
Then we were Minister of State. Then the Ministry of Youth have two ministers. And then we were later elevated as substantive minister in October 2024, which means almost a year after. So, and there have been some, bottleneck for the past 1 year in terms of our youth development project. But then also even as a state minister, we were able to do some initiative that has to do with NIA, which is Nigerian Youth Academy, where young people are able to learn at least 2 skills. We projected the campaign to be 1 youth, 2 skills, and maybe you have seen that flying around. We also have projects.
Come again?
Yeah, I'm talking about the 1 youth, 2 skills under the Nigerian Youth Academy, which was launched by the Minister of Youth Development. Even when he was a Minister of State, we were able to achieve a milestone of having about 80,000 young people registered on the platform, even before, even before launching it. And I think in the year 2024, the beginning of the first quarter, the President of Nigeria has already approved to launch NIA by himself in the executive chamber, just to demonstrate, commitment by the President for young people. And NIA is a platform that also, recognize young people, both formal and informal. Like a young person can register with NIA to be able to learn soft skills. For instance, maybe you can learn, maybe a young woman wants to open a salon, you can go there and learn the skills that have to do
making your hair
and all that. So these are the little soft skills that we feel like young people can learn even when you don't have any certificate for you to be able to be employable. And we are trying to transform it in such a way that there are also employers who are also registered on the platform, and then they can place their advert there,
and they can get
they
jobs
can also
from there
get
too.
yes, because it is a certified training, just a few months training that you get a certificate,
and you get certificates.
And then also employers that are there would register, some SMEs that are already there, maybe a saloon and is looking for an expert who learns skills in saloon, and then
you'll be recommended.
you'll be recommended automatically by the platform to be employed. So this is kind of the initiative that the Honorable Minister of Youth Development is able to bring on table. And then you also talk about issues of collaborating with development partners.
Yes.
And I think we have achieved a lot of milestone in that area, because we try as much as possible to recognize the development partners that are already doing youth development projects. One of the key areas we understand over the past few years is that from 2015 up to 2025, several millions of dollars has been injected by development partners in this country in the area of
which
youth
are foreign development partners.
Foreign development partners.
So how come it feels like the youth don't even hear about this?
And one of the key things we've learned based on our own study is that, by 2024, we have seen a statistic of having, youth unemployment to hit, I think, 33.3%. And then when you have, 232 million people, and you have over 70% to be young people, and then you are battling with 33.3% of youth unemployment, and then studying that over the past 10 years, development partners spent several millions for youth development project, but the impact is not traceable. So one of the key areas the minister developed is that we sit with the development partners. We started by visiting EU delegation to Nigeria, because EU has spent a lot of money in youth development project, to say that we need to change the narratives. We went there with our 5 demands, upon which the EU also agreed, to support those demands, to support the government of Nigeria through effective collaboration to ensure that, they support youth development project. I believe that beside even the EU, we've also visited organizations like Plan International, which we also signed a memorandum of understanding with Plan International in the area of implementation of the national youth policy, specifically issues around girls and the youth and adolescents health and all that. So these are one of the steps that the Minister of Youth Development also looked towards, and we are looking forward to unlocking more. There are several other opportunities that are coming for young people, most importantly this year, to equip them, just like I have said, support, empower and protect.
It's like that's the watchword for this year.
Exactly.
Support, empower
and protect.
And that's totally what the youth want.
So that is it. And under this support, empower and protect, if I break it down for you, under support we have several initiatives coming. Under empowerment we have several initiatives coming. And under protection we have something like a Nigerian Youth Health Desk. It is a health desk dedicated by the Honorable Minister, domiciled in the ministry, to be responding to issues concerning young people, such as domestic abuses, issues of police harassment and all that. One of the key things we identified to do is that the helplines were already there, and then when you launch your complaint, then we will link you up with the relevant authorities that are already domiciled in your locality to quickly respond to particular problem. It's just like that youth help desk is just like our 911.
A quick response.
Yeah. So these are the initiative by the Honorable Minister. And then expect many more to come this year. Issues around training of young people in the renewable energy sector, most especially solar installation, which will also go down to the community level. we intend to engage 774 local government in this area. Just on Friday, the minister will be launching a portal where we intend to recruit 6 million youth farmers. And these are one of the initiative also. We call it Nigerian Youth Economic Engagement and Deradicalization Program. And this program aims to empower young people in agro-allied industry, farming, fish farming, and all that. So even on Friday, we are launching a portal to recruit 6 million young farmers in Nigeria. And then also we have collective, we have collective commitment by the United States to support this initiative. Not just to support young people, we intend to get lands allocated by the state governors for young people to go and farm, and after farming, also we have companies that will also absorb the raw materials, and also to support the industrialization in Nigeria. So these are one of the these are among the key initiatives by the Minister of Youth Development.
Okay, so you're saying that this particular last project you mentioned is for the 36 states, each governor is going to bring a land?
Yes, so basically we are going to identify the agrarian states.
Oh, okay.
It's not all the states. Exactly. Okay. There are states that you cannot go there and farm rice because they don't have enabling environment. So our target is, specific,
states who are
good for agriculture. But then, it's also an avenue for young people everywhere you are to be able to register. If you are a farmer, you get supported.
So when is this going to be launched? This year?
This Friday. Friday on 17th.
Yes. This year, 2025, you have to tap into all the benefits laid out for us. So having highlighted the goals and the things that were able to be achieved last year, let's look at 2025 here. Are there any international collaborations, fostered or partnership or national agreements in place to foster cross-border collaboration and opportunities for young people,
just like
looking at 2025?
Yeah, just like I told you, we've already established a technical working committee with the EU. And remember, EU does not only support government, they also support United Nations agencies like UNFPA, like UNDP, they also support them. These are one of the partners that also ministry work closely with. So one of the key things is that we want to institutionalize our conversation with the EU. One of the things is that we intend to sign an MOU with them to identify key areas. I've told you the case study of spending millions of naira, and then we still
don't see. It feels like nothing is being done.
One of the questions the development partners ask is the question of accountability and transparency, and also sustainability. And internally, we've said that the question of accountability and sustainability is not a problem, in as much as Honorable Ayodele Olawande is concerned. We are willing to work with with their templates in terms of, accounting the process. But also, as a government, we have key priorities. Just like I've said, support, empower and protect. So any partnership will fall under this. And one of the key things is that if government have a vision on how they want to empower young people, all development partners who were given an enabling environment to come to Nigeria to work will have to align their strategic objectives with what we have on ground, because this is aimed at addressing the already existing issue. Let me give you an example. I was discussing with one of the commissioners of youth, and he mentioned that there was a training for young people in fish farming. And then they mentioned they spend about, development partners who brought the project mentioned that they spend about 400 million to train young people in farming. And after that particular training that lasted for over a month, they now give them certificate and say that's all. How can you train a young person? You spend 400 million, train him without giving him a start of kit, giving him a start of fund. You train me on how to do fish farming. Give me some grants for me to go and own my fish farming. You just train me and give me a certificate. Yes, skills is important, but also funding is also important. So this year we intend to change the narratives. If you want to support young people, support them just like government is doing. The government have already committed 106 billion over the next few years to be spent on Nigerian Youth Investment Fund, which is part of the commitment by government. Now, if development partners could also do the same, to say that, okay, we are complementing this with another 200 billion or something like that, to see how we would reach out to young people. The question of transparency, come, let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's ensure that there is transparency in the process. You don't have to know senator. You don't have to know chairman. You don't have to know governor before you are able to be supported by government. So these are the key areas we intend to engage more to ensure that young people from the community feel the government and also touch the government. This is one of the areas that, the Minister of Youth Development is really, really focusing on.
Wow, that's interesting. And Youth Hub continues shortly after this break. Please stay tuned because we have lots more on this conversation.
Are you ready to join the conversation shaping the future? This is Youth Hub, your go-to TV show where youth ideas and impact collide. Want to tackle the tough questions? We delve deep into the topics that matters: youth empowerment, gender equality, leadership, and mental health, real stories, real struggles, real situations. And it's not all talk. We make it fun with live challenges, creative contests, and interactive segments. You're not just watching the show, you are part of it. Catch Youth Hub every Thursday at 3 p.m. on Global Television. Be heard, be seen. Youth Hub, fueling dreams, sparkling change, and amplifying your voice.
Welcome back. This is Youth Hub. So, Mr. Marwan, I like that you've been taking time to, give in details, and I'm really enjoying the details, and I hope that my youth out there, the audience out there watching, are getting information that they need to get on how to thrive and unlock good opportunities made by the government for the youth. So what sectors or industry does the government foresee a high growth areas for youth in 2025, and how are you preparing young people to take advantage in them?
Yes, one of the sectors, just like I've mentioned in our previous conversation, is agriculture.
So they say high growth. I think we've been
Exactly.
talking about agriculture
Yeah.
so many times all these years.
Yes, but yes, we have been talking about agriculture. We have also been talking about the digital economy, which is
Okay.
one of the trending
Yes.
issues, most especially creative industries.
And AI, yeah.
AI, creative industries also to support young people. But one of the key areas is that when you talk about creative economy, when you talk about AI, you are trying to address formal youth, because most of the people that are in AI are people that are educated. And 70% of these young people that we have who are not employed are also from the informal sector. There are people that are KK riders, there are taxi drivers. You understand what I'm saying? Some of them are looking for little opportunities to be supported, to be able to strive. So we are not neglecting the fact that there are so many job opportunities there for young people in AI, most especially if you have the expertise. But the area also is to ensure that young people at the community feel the government. And the only way you reach out to young people at the community is identifying this critical sector that I talk about, critical sector of agriculture and renewable energy. Because for me, I think you don't need to go to school before you learn how to do, solar installation. You don't need to go to school to learn. We already have existing farmers. If I take you to my village, many young people there who I think the highest level of qualification they have is secondary school certificate, some even primary school certificate. But they own about 5 to 6 hectares of land. They even farm, 5 to 6 hectares of farm, and they even farm what they can be able to feed their family for the next 1 year. So one of the key areas is that how do we get these people at the community level to ensure that they are also supported by government? How do we control the process? When you engage young people in agricultural sector, you also boost chances for economic diversification by having also enabling industries, because there are industries out there that are looking for this raw material in order to produce. And one of the key things is that the more we have more industries in this country, the more we have job opportunities for both youth, informal and informal.
And informal, yes.
So in the area of industrialization, because we don't want to focus on the area of only formal youth, we also want to key into informal youth, because most issues that we are having around insecurity are also being, facilitated by young people from the informal youth. Because, you find out that we have been spending more money. If you look at the budget of the Ministry of Defense, we have been saving more money, trillions of naira to protect people. And 80% of these people, perpetrators, are young people who have not been to school, who have been neglected for over 40 years.
Yes,
and
who don't have the knowledge.
Who don't have the knowledge, because I feel like nobody will go into the university and end up being a bandit.
Of course.
Because it's not a good way to live life. You live life with fear and all that. So for us, I think we've come and met accumulated problem, because as far as we are concerned, for over 30 to 40 years, schools have not been good in this country. If you grow up in the community, you hardly have even access to quality education. So this over-accumulation of young people who have been born, 35 years ago, 30, are the one causing the problem, because they have been far neglected. There are no schools for them to go. They lived in a very remote environment, and then they battle with even, so it affects mental health. It affects a lot. So, and then that is why we have to spend a lot of money. Instead of spend money building schools, building universities, having research institutes, so it is a long accumulated problem that we think we should have a long term, short and mid-term, framework. And one of the short-term framework is to ensure that we create these opportunities for informal youth also to be directly engaged. The long-term cannot be done only by the Ministry of Youth. We have to also identify the role of the Ministry of Education. We have to also identify the role of the community leaders as well.
Of course.
How does community amplify, even the state governors at subnational level? The community need to do more in sensitizing young people and even the children to go to school, and then also the government need to provide those schools for them and enabling learning environment. And then the government can only do that through Ministry of Education and through state governors, who handles almost 70% of the education package for children. So these are the key areas. The government, the Ministry of Youth cannot do it alone. Every segment, every arm of government need to be responsible for what they are supposed to be accountable for this country to strive. So for us, we are trying to create solutions, both mid-term and long-term, but also we cannot achieve it alone without effective collaboration with all stakeholders that are involved.
Okay, that's interesting. So now let's look at the youth. What should they look out for in terms of government equipping them with fundings, or equipping them with the right information that they need to thrive? Because like you said, it's not just about talking, or we have brought so amount of money, there's $7 million. What is the government actually really going to equip them? Is it with skill, digital skill, economy, or access to mentorship or funding through international collaboration? What should they look out for in this new year that is actually going to come through, not just words of the mouth like we have always heard?
Yes, one word that I can put to you is collaboration, because through collaboration, all these main areas can be achieved. Our national youth policy have identified 6 key thematic areas, that has to do with physical and mental health for young people, young people in governance, which is developing their leadership capacity for us to be able to, strive. Economic diversification, economic empowerment, which I have also mentioned one of the key, items we do, in terms of economic empowerment, and also environmental sustainability, which has to do with climate change and everything around that.
I see you have a thing for climate change.
Yeah, and also we've also identified stakeholder collaboration. That is why I speak more to collaboration, because for us, we are leaving the door open. If you have an idea that will contribute to what we already have, you are welcome. You can bring it on board, and let's see how we work together. And if there is anything that young people need, is that enabling environment for them to speak. Don't forget that we have National Youth Conference coming on, as President declared in the first quarter of this year. And one of the key things that the minister said is that the National Youth Conference is going to be a community national youth conference. He doesn't want people to come to Abuja and spend 1 month with achieving nothing. What he wants is for us to be able to focus more on community engagement with young people from the community to be delegated to come to Abuja to speak to the problem already existing in the community. And this enabling environment gives young people an opportunity to speak to the problem. We've already mentioned about our plans for this year, which already captured most of the issues around young people, just like I said, support, empower, and protect. But now, the aims for the National Youth Conference is to say that, okay, we've invited you here. This is our plan to support you. How do you intend to be supported? How do you intend to be empowered? These are our programs that are already existing. These are opportunities that you leverage on. But also at the same time, we want to hear from you. If you want to add more to already existing things that plans that
But the
we already
youth
have
mentioned that they always come up with ideas. Some even pitch their ideas to people.
Yeah.
But it takes a whole lot for most of these things to come to. Is it just delayed gratification, or is it just that the government don't care?
Now, sometimes it depends on the idea. For instance, there are government bureaucracy, and also there are issues around bringing the idea without solution. We don't need only idea, we need solution. For instance, the entire budget of the ministry is not up to 10 billion when it comes to issue of capacity building and all that.
Okay.
There are other interventions, just like I said, 106 billion
Yes.
for Nigerian Youth Investment Fund, engagement with the Nigerian Youth Economic Empowerment and the Radicalization Program that we are doing. We intend to source all this money from development partners. But also, if a young person brings up an idea that maybe we have financial constraint to support based on our own budget, how do we source the money? These are the key fundamental questions that you need to ask.
Okay, now, so bring your ideas. Like you said, there's going to be, the president mentioned there's going to be a conference, national conference for the youth in the first quarter of the year. So be on the lookout for that. And if you have any good ideas on how you can go about to be funded and all of that, please meet Mr. Mawano. He's the one in charge.
We have platforms.
Yeah, I know there are platforms too.
Yeah.
And in which you're going to mention to us in the course, maybe one or two. So finally, as we wrap up, are there opportunities for young people to engage in policy making or represent their country in global forums? Because we need to also go out there. We need to also engage with other youth outside. We need to explore, okay, we are going on these, our country centers on these, like we see the other countries do.
Yeah, of course. We have several other programs like, just like last year, several young people that has been supported technically and at some point financially to attend the UN Summit of the Future, which is also centered around young people. And we look forward to also this year, there are G20 Youth Engagement Group, there are several other engagement this year, such as ECOSOG, where also we gathered to do a lot. And also this year, I think Nigeria is part of the leading country who has been proposed to host Forbes 30 on the 30 in Nigeria, and hopefully if the organizers approve, is also an enabling opportunity for Nigeria to most especially to support young entrepreneurs as well, because we intend to engage other foreign investors into opportunities like that.
Wow, I think if not that my hands are so occupied, I should be giving Mr. Mawan a round of an applause, because he has really tutored us on how to unlock 2025. He has tutored us on the things that are ongoing already. The ball is already rolling this year for us to, unlock and tap into whatever the government has in stock for us. So as we wrap up on today's episode of Unlocking 2025 with global opportunities out there for the youth, the doors are unlocked. Remember that every opportunity is a chance to grow, lead, and create a better future. The world is waiting for your ideas, your voice, and your impact. Stay inspired, stay ambitious, and let's make this year, 2025, the one for the history books. I remain your host, Hosanna Okorafo. Here is tomorrow next time. See you soon. Bye for now.